Right, hello. My name is Sullivan, aka Spoon, and I'm joined here today with Aust1n, which I'm interviewing.
Hello.
He's got over 100k subs on YouTube and over 40k followers on Twitch, and he's a streamer for Disrupt Gaming.
That is correct.
I'd say that he's my inspiration of why I started gaming seriously. He plays FPSs such as Rainbow Six Siege and Overwatch.
Not much Overwatch, but mainly just Rainbow Six.
How long have you been playing Rainbow Six Siege for?
Um, since the beta came out back in November 2015, so a friend of mine just said, "Hey, you want to try out this game? It's pretty realistic." And I said, "Sure," and I was instantly hooked. I kind of because when I started my YouTube channel, I made the Last of Us videos on the PS4. Um, and I was kind of like trying to fight the urge to play Siege because I mainly just made Last of Us content, but
All
it
right.
was too powerful.
How long did you play Siege on PS4 for on the console?
Uh, about 9 months. So when I started playing in November, or actually 10 months, because I came over to PC in September of 2016. So year one, season three.
All right. So I've recently started this podcast slash interview series, interviewing loads of. Hopefully, you're going to be interviewing loads of different streamers and YouTubers up and coming in the gaming community, and picking apart their brain and how they think and work. Because I'm really interested in that. So everyone has to start somewhere. So this is the first episode that you're on, Austin.
All right.
So before we get into the actual questions and your background, have you got any in your streams? You don't really talk about what you do outside of streaming. Have you got any interests or passions that you work on outside of streaming, or do you just do streaming on YouTube?
Just streaming on YouTube. Like my number one goal is to um get to the top of Twitch. It's a long term goal, obviously, but Twitch and gaming and YouTube is pretty much my only passion. I'm not really if I try and do other things, I feel like I'm wasting time if they have nothing to do with Twitch or YouTube.
Okay. Um, Recently you tweeted that you're gonna stream for 12 hours a day in January.
Yes. Yes.
When did you come up with this decision?
Uh at the beginning of this month in December. Or no, actually it was like around Thanksgiving, like at the end of November. Um so I could have time to I didn't want to do it in December because the holidays I have dinners to go to, but um and there was the USN as well in December, but there's nothing happening in January for me. So, and plus I was mainly inspired by people on Twitter and Twitch who did similar challenges, like Giant Waffle did 19-hour streams every day for 30 days, and he basically just slept for 5 hours. Um and he broke records. He just got to like 10,000 sub points on his channel. So hopefully the 12-hour thing will be a huge boost for me. And plus, it's like when you're trying to, it's like how actors like transform their bodies for a certain role in a movie. It only takes like 3 months for them to do. When most people, when they go to the gym, they just slowly pace it out. It takes a couple of years. So with that logic, I'm hoping that these 12-hour streams over the month of January works the same way.
Well, I hope you really boost your Twitch streams and your YouTube channel. Will you be posting every day as well, or would it just be streams?
Just be streams. Just be streams.
Okay. All right. So let's get into your background. Tell us a bit about how you got into competitive gaming, like really competitive. Was it just Siege, or was there any other inspiration?
Um. Well, when I played The Last of Us, I actually hated playing competitive. I just wanted to play for fun because, I mean, it's console and it was just the community there was super toxic. And because in the last, like, just as an example, in The Last of Us, it was a 4v4, and when they were setting up a custom lobby, there were 7 people in there. They were trying to find an eighth. Eventually, shit talk would start up, and they'd end up playing a 3v4. Uh, I just hated being around people like that. So, but when I played Rainbow Six, I also hated playing competitive. But when I went over to PC, there is so much more control in how I aimed and moved with a mouse and keyboard compared to a controller that it just sparked, I guess.
Um. So what was was Rainbow Six Siege the actually no was The Last of Us the first competitive game that you played, or did you play any competitive games before that, like CS or anything like that?
No, I've never played CS before I played Siege. I yeah, I guess The Last of Us was the first multiplayer I got into. I mean, I've played Halo Combat Evolved at like on LAN and like school in the library, just messing around with the people in there. Then I've played a little bit of Call of Duty on the Xbox. Played Medal of Honor. I've just played campaigns mainly, but that was pretty much it. I never really got into multiplayers before The Last of Us.
What are your thoughts on CS and CS:GO?
I mean, CS is fun. Um, every now and then I wanted to just practice my aim, get better aim on CS. This is only recent though, like in the past month, where I played a little bit of CS. But before that, I never touched CS. It's fun. But I hate how the bullets don't go where you aim sometimes.
Yeah, you have to all that recoil control. I played CS for like 2 years before I swapped over to Rainbow Six. So
Yeah, sucks.
yeah, I found aiming in Rainbow Six Siege like kind of easy then. Anyway, let's get into the actual meat of the questions that we have for today.
All right.
I want to go into some of your gaming setups and what you have with you. But first, I want to talk
Okay.
about two mice. The Razer Mamba Wireless and the Logitech G Pro Wireless. In your streams...
Razer Mamba wireless? You mean the Viper?
Is it the Viper? Oh, no.
Razer Viper Ultimate wireless mouse?
Should have done my research. Oh. Razer Viper... Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why does it say...
So I mean, I've never used the G Pros. I only have experience with the Razer Viper Ultimate. The only time I've experienced the G Pro was at USN. I literally just went over to Cross Archon's setup, held his mouse while he wasn't there just to feel it. I didn't like the shape really. But in every other way, the Razer Viper, like I was trying to decide between the Razer Viper and the G Pro when I was on the Zowie S2, or I mean the Model O minus. I mean the Razer Viper has rubber sides to it. It has a better scroll wheel, better sensor, better side buttons in my opinion. It's lighter, and you don't have to plug it in and charge it. There's just a charging port, charging dock where it's held by magnets. But honestly, if you already have the G Pro, the Razer Viper is not worth the upgrade to the Razer Viper is not worth the $150. But if you're trying to decide between the two, I'd personally go with the Razer Viper.
Okay, so everyone on your stream always asks what mouse you have and how many mouse you've owned. How many mice have you owned?
Have I owned?
Roughly. Or how many do you own right now? Or do you throw them away?
No, I keep them. The Zowie ZA13. So I think back when I first came over to PC, I used the Logitech MX Master. It was like it was really weird. It was made for editing, over gaming. It was wireless, but it wasn't a good mouse because it was really heavy. Then I moved over to actually, I don't think I have the MX Master. I think it broke, but I think I threw that away. But I had the ZA13, Zowie ZA13, the FK2, the Model O, the Model O minus, Zowie S2, and the Razer Viper Ultimate. But I've also used the final mouse, the Ultralight Pro, and the FK1. those last two I never owned. I just used it from a friend of mine,
Okay.
and the rest of them are. I think that's all the mice I own.
All right. So I have the ZA13 right now. You think it's worth me switching over to the Razer?
Well, you got to ask yourself what you like about the ZA13. If it's the hump, then I personally like the top hump. I personally wouldn't swap over to like an FK or like yeah. It kind of depends what you like and dislike about the ZA13.
Yeah.
Because I know the FK and the Razer Viper don't really have a hump to them,
Okay.
but the G Pro does.
All right. So it's more flatter. The Razer one.
Yeah. They're flatter and they're a little longer.
Okay. Because before I owned like the EC2A. It was like only a right-handed mouse. So it was a
Okay.
bit flatter.
What's your grip style?
I use fingertip/claw.
And did the EC work well with that?
No, it was more palm when I
Yeah.
used to play CS. But
so what do you like about the ZA13?
it's smaller. It's way smaller than the EC2A. That
Yeah.
is ambidextrous. I don't know if that's the right word, but you can use
Right.
it on both hands. But like, it's not like one-sided to your hand. I don't know how to explain that, but and it's,
Yeah, ambidextrous.
yeah. The hump as well helps me with my fingertip grip. So I don't know how to explain that, but yeah, it's smaller. It's smaller to hold, basically.
Okay.
So I liked it.
So
yeah.
so what don't you like about it?
What don't I like about it? Just because the wire. I just don't like the wire.
Don't like
It gets
then
in
the G
way.
Pro. The G Pro will probably be better or best for you. The only thing that's with the G Pro, the side buttons are really small. They're almost like the Model M minus, and that annoyed me.
Okay.
It takes some getting used to. Like if with the Zowie mice, the side buttons are really big. It definitely takes some getting used to if you decide to swap. But yeah, the G Pro is probably better for you if you really like that hump.
I don't know about the scroll as well, because I feel like the scrolls on Zowie mice are just bad, aren't they? Is that just me?
If you swap weapons with your scroll wheel, then they are really good. But if you prefer the infinite scroll wheel on other mice and you use your 1 and 2 keys to swap weapons, then yeah, that's the G. I didn't test the scroll wheel on the G Pro at USN, but
Okay.
do you use your scroll wheel to change weapons?
No, I only use my. What do I use? No, I use 1 and 2. No, I use the side buttons to change weapons.
On the mouse.
Mouse button 4 and 5. I use those to
Okay.
change weapons.
And yeah. You would only need that really slow scroll wheel if you change weapons with your scroll wheel, which I do. But on the Razer Viper, it gives good feedback to, and you don't scroll multiple times. I mean,
Okay, all right. Anything else you want to say about mice? And okay, let's just get into this question.
all right.
Onto your gaming setup. All right.
All right.
So, have you made your Twitter video yet? Or
No,
That's
I
not
haven't. I'm going to.
that's not out. So, can we talk about your gaming setup? Or
Sure.
do you want to put in that? Okay, all right. So what monitor are you running right now?
The Zowie XL2540 240 hertz monitor.
Do you feel a difference between 144 and 244 personally?
Yes. But if you don't game all the time, then it's not really going to make much of a difference. It's like, but 60 to 144 is like night and day. There's no question about it. But 144 to 240, it only really makes a difference if you play every day for hours.
Okay.
And your PC can put out 240 frames.
All right. So, okay, we got the spec of your monitor now. You see your mousepad. Is it good to have a big mousepad, or does it really matter on your style of your of your play. So if you have a
It
fingertip,
really limits your confidence if you have a small mouse pad, I think. Because um on console, a lot of people tell me that, oh, console players going to PC, they're just as smart as other PC players, so they can play really smart on console. Um, that's mostly not the case, because when those smart players take the lack of control that they have on their aim into account for certain gunfights. So they tend to skip on certain gunfights. They tend to um, like hold back, just hold angles so that they can win their gunfights more frequently. They don't just run in and start killing everybody. Same logic applies to mouse pads, because I honestly don't understand why lower elo players sleep on mouse pads and they just run no mouse pad, because that can damage the glides on the bottom of your mouse, and it just doesn't feel right when you don't use a mouse pad. You got to put a lot more force. It's like more of a dead zone in terms of force you're applying to your fingers to move your mouse on the desk. But yeah, bigger mouse pad equals better gun skill, I think.
why should people use a soft mouse pad rather than like one of those hard ones?
Well, with the hard ones, there's a lot less friction. There's kind of a sweet spot in terms of friction. Because this Zao GSR, the one I have, has a bit more friction than like a QCK Plus from SteelSeries, or like a HyperX mousepad, because it mostly if your muscle memory is good, it keeps you from over flicking or under flicking to people's heads.
Okay.
And with the hard mouse pads, there's almost no friction to it.
So
And you kind of have to with the hard mouse pad, I'd say you would only do well with it if you're a wrist aimer. Like if your wrist is just stationary and it doesn't move, then you can have a little bit more control. But personally, just stick with the soft mouse pads.
Are you a wrist aimer? You're an arm aimer, aren't you? Like you use your whole.
Both. Mostly,
okay.
Like if I'm trying to 180, I'll use my arm. But if I'm ADS with an ACOG and I'm trying to round a corner, I will use my arm. But if I'm just standing still, flicking, and someone just appears on my screen, I will flick with my wrist.
Do you ever hit your keyboard while you're flicking? Does it get annoying? Because I do that sometimes.
No, because my keyboard is at a 90-degree angle, and it's pretty far from my mouse pad.
Was it always comfortable at that 90-degree angle, or did you have to get?
Yes, it's. Well, I mean, you progressively. If you like a tilted keyboard, and the more you lean in, the more you keep your back straight, the more you'll want to lean your keyboard towards that 90-degree angle. Yeah, and yes, I do it for comfort at the same time.
All right, that's a good segue onto what chair do you own? Is it
I mean, they don't make the specific chair anymore. It's a Disrupt. It's a Disrupt branded eWin chair. It was. Okay. I got it for free, but retail is like $160. All right. But yeah, they don't make the specific model anymore. They have different colors without the Disrupt wording on it.
This is a bit of a general question, but what do you think having good posture helps you?
Yes.
Be better.
So yes, just because if you're a hardcore hunchback, and you put a lot of pressure on your arms and elbows on your desk, then it will affect how you aim. Because again, remember that if you don't know what a dead zone is, basically if you're a console player, you kind of like tap at your analog stick and it doesn't do anything until it's at a certain distance from its center point on your controller. Same thing with a mouse. If you just put your thumb against the side of your mouse and you slowly add more strength to it, but nothing's happening to your mouse and where it's moving, that's a dead zone in terms of strength to move your mouse. So if your elbow is getting pressed on top of your desk really hard because of your hunchback posture, then that's even more of a dead zone to moving your arm and just more inconsistencies to how you aim, I guess. So it's always better to play with the straight back, with your elbow or slash upper or forearm, I mean, leveled with your desk, so there's no pressure being added.
Okay.
It can almost hover on your desk.
So you can hover on your desk. So you want to let it rest on your desk, or do you want to hover your elbow?
You can rest on your desk, but with no pressure.
Okay.
Just let it be there, you know?
All right. So this links to another question that I have. This is my personal question. What do you think? Like, where should your eyes be relative to the monitor? Should you be looking up to it, or does it not matter? This is just personal preference.
What do you mean?
So, say I'm talking about what eye level should you be to the monitor? So, should you be like looking down onto it, or should you be, like, looking up to it,
dead center.
So
yeah, dead center.
So the height of your chair and that. So it should be like you should be looking at the center of the monitor, not looking down into it or anything.
Yes. Because I lean in with my back straight, and if I did not like tilt my monitor facing directly at me, then I'd be looking down at it, and that was an issue I had with my old monitor, which I couldn't tilt it, and that affects how you play, because if you've ever tried, just move your chair slightly to the left, or move your monitor slightly to the left or right, and have your eyes facing just slightly like on the side of what your dead center would be, and just see how off your aim's going to be, because you're not looking at the very center.
Okay, so
it kind of distorts it in a way if you're just looking at it from up or down.
Because I see a lot of these, I don't know, these people in Pro League and stuff, they're just like, they have their monitor tilted upwards and they're just looking down onto it. Is that a bad habit or what?
No, that's what I do. No, that because they play with their back straight and they lean in.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. I get.
They lean in on it so they would not, specifically so they don't look down at it. So they tilt their monitors to look at the dead center.
Okay. Yeah, I understand what you're saying now.
Yeah.
I just tried that. Alright, let's get back on track.
Yeah.
So, do you know your PC specs off by heart, or is it like I
think I do.
Yeah. What PC are you running? What are you running right now?
i7 7700K, RTX 2080, 16 gigabytes of RAM, 3400 hertz, Asus Z170A motherboard, CX 750 watt power supply, 2 Samsung 850 Pro SSDs, both are quarter terabyte each, with one 3 terabyte hard drive. The PC case, I forgot the name of it. It doesn't matter, honestly. And the CPU cooler, it's an AIO like water cooler, but I also forgot the name of that one.
Okay.
It's some kind of lesser known brand.
So Disrupt was hosting a giveaway, weren't they, of a PC? Right?
Yes, with Braxton, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. You weren't involved with that, were you?
No.
Alright, okay. So Aust1n has he's on his YouTube channel. There's a video of how you can save up for a PC. So guys, you can go watch that. I'll put his YouTube channel and all his socials down in the description or wherever where I'm gonna post this, or in like the tabs or something, or on the end card. What else do we have on our list? Would you want to add anything that you said from that video of how to save up from a PC to PC? Anything you want to add, or did you say everything in that video?
I said pretty much everything in that. I mean, there are obviously going to be a lot more ways to make money. Those were just examples of trying to think outside the box. If you really wanted to, you could like volunteer as uh participant for medical studies for scientists, and that pays a lot, but the video was made for underagers, so that's not really recommended.
I mean, this is all ages, so you can say that. You can say that. Yeah. Okay. So saving up for a PC. So
Yeah, I'd only recommend if you're over 18 to go.
Over 18 recommended. All right. Do not do it if you're under 18. Okay. So I want to get back onto. I have one. I think we skipped over this, but what mouse skates? Yeah. I have a question about this. Do you
like Hyperglides?
Does it matter what kind of mouse skates you have? Like, is it big mouse skates or small mouse skates? Does it make a difference of how you play?
You mean Hyperglides?
Yeah,
or
the Hyperglides, like where you put on
I'm
your
sure.
mouse.
I don't even know like if that's a thing. Like the size of the Hyperglides on the bottom of your mouse, because you ideally you'd only want to go with one Hyperglide company. It's like the term Hyperglide is a TM. It's a copywritten brand. I'm pretty sure they're like off-brand Hyperglides aren't going to be good. Yeah, it's hyperglide.net. It's a brand. It's not like it's like Coke compared to soda, you know?
Yeah.
Hyperglide compared to mouse skates. You'd only want the mouse skates from Hyperglide, and they make the Hyperglides for specific mice. So you don't just go there like, oh, hey, here's 12 stickers that you put on the bottom of your mouse. No, there's G Pro specific Hyperglides. There's FK2 specific Hyperglides. It's
the one
size
makes them for all.
I don't think size is a thing.
Okay. So what
were we going to say about the company?
One company makes them for every single mouse. Or
I personally have no experience with that.
Okay.
I've never heard of that. But I just stay safe. Like the hyperglide.net website is kind of, it does look sketchy because I'm pretty sure it's based in Thailand, but yeah, I go with that over the off-brand company.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of players buy it from this hyperglide.net company, so it's not going to be risky. It might take a long time to arrive, but it's worth it.
How often do you change them? What does it matter?
Hyperglides?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never used. I mean, the Razer Viper comes with Hyperglides factory installed into it. From what I've heard, they feel like Hyperglides, but I've never seen anything like. It looks like the default glides you see on any mouse, but they're claiming it's Hyperglides. Okay. But I don't think. I mean, a safe bet for me to say would just be every year. I've never heard of people having to change out their Hyperglides if they just take care of their mousepad and play on a mousepad.
Okay. All right. So before we end, I have a few questions about your previous videos.
Okay.
So you, in one of your videos, said that you have to, like, to build your not confidence, but like, how do I say this? To get better at Siege, for example, you have to manage your time, and you have to like cut off certain things, stop doing certain things to make time for like Siege or stuff. So you had that like pie chart, I remember.
Yeah, the Pentagon.
The Pentagon thing, yeah. You said that if you have, I don't know if this links, but if you have toxic teammates or friends, you cut them off. Have you cut anyone off?
Yes, before? I still do.
So even if they're good friends?
If they're good friends, I just don't play with them. I play with them. I just hang out with them in real life.
So what advice would you give for someone that plays with your good friends, your IRL friends every day, but they're not really good at Siege, so just you have to cut them off like that? Like what if they take it badly? Or do you not have any experience with that?
I do have experience with it. If they take it badly, then and they get pissed off at you, then I guess they're not really your friend. if they just can't stand not playing a game with you. If you don't want to go that far, then you can always just say, if they always ask you to play, never ask them to play. If they ask you to play, just say you're full, or you promised another friend that you were going to play with them. But if you enjoy playing with them, but you also want to get better, and you're kind of like split between these two goals of either just playing with your friends or trying to go pro, then buy a Smurf account and play with your friends on that account. But if they want to spend a lot of time playing with you, then yeah, you would you just tell them you just tell them that I promised a different friend I'd play with them. What were you saying though?
Do you have any stories that you want to share about that, or do you want to just not?
Any stories of me? I mean, yeah, I was literally, well, for me, if my friends told me that they wanted to play, I just say I'm full. That was literally it, and then eventually they'd stop asking.
Okay, because I had this problem recently anyway, so I just wanted your advice on it. Because I play with people that I played with for a long time, like they're my good friends and outside,
right?
Like, outside of the internet. And
well, like, different people want different things. Because I keep asking a friend of mine what his goals are in life, and he keeps telling me he doesn't have goals. And
everyone should have goals.
Well, not necessarily. People are happy with where they're at right now, just drinking with their friends at bars, but other people aren't satisfied with where they are with where they're at, so they have goals. And some people with goals are good friends with people that don't have goals, so they just, luckily for me, my good friend, like one of my best friends who lives in the UK, who doesn't have a goal, doesn't play Siege, so I don't have to worry about that. I'd personally just, yeah, I mean, you can't force them to try and get good at Siege if they don't want to. I just stopped playing with them.
I mean, like once I like started playing like with new squads, like just finding random people on Reddit and Rainbow Six Siege forums.
Yeah, it's not really, finding a good player on Reddit is like a needle in a haystack.
Like I literally just, like, there was like a 4-stack rating. I was like, oh yeah, I'll play with you, let's see what happens. Like, and I abandoned my friends for those people for like a month, and I like had to go back to them because I don't know, the 4-stack started playing and I got made fun of. So that was a bit that was a bit of a kick in the butt. Anyway, what other questions do I have for you written down here?
About videos.
For your videos. I mean, I went over your keyboard placement. I went over your chair placement. I think I wanna talk about your. Actually, I think that's it. I didn't have any more questions, did I?
You say you wanted to ask a couple questions about my the videos I made. You've only asked one.
Yeah, but most of them we went over like before. So we went over your gaming setup. That was in your video. Do questions. I mean, I'll think about it. We can wrap it up now. All right. Now. It's fine. Basically that was the only question I had. We'll cut this out. Don't worry. It's fine.
I feel like you're forgetting. I'm trying to think for you, and I feel like you're missing on the earbuds.
Earbuds. Oh yeah.
Earbuds over headsets.
Yes. All right. Yeah. All right. So why do you use earbuds rather than a headset?
A few reasons. One, I never want to get used to headphones if I ever play at a LAN. I can just plug in earbuds and I'm fine. 2, I like to move my head around. 3, so like if I move my head around with a headset, they most likely fall off. 3, I don't get headphone hair. So if you've been playing for hours, you take your headset off and there's just this imprint in the side of your heads, or in the sides of your head, I mean. Yeah. From the headset. 4, I like to hear what's happening around me outside because I'm in my own room, and if I had a headset and someone just walked in my like just opened my door, I wouldn't be able to hear them. Uh,
Okay. So
and
just
yeah,
maneuverability and
yeah, and being able to
practicality.
hear around me outside of gaming, and honestly, I don't notice a difference between. I kind of prefer the audio with earbuds.
Okay. I mean, I got the same earbuds that you have, so you've influenced
Right.
someone. All
Yeah,
right.
I'm officially an influencer.
All right. That just reminded me of another influencer. Okay, this is such a boomer question, all right? But just yeah,
Okay.
I'm just gonna ask it. You see, when you started out making videos, or what, did you start making YouTube videos before you started streaming, or did you do it at the same time?
YouTube before streaming. I had no interest in streaming when I played The Last of Us, and even at the beginning, like in the first half of like this whole time playing Siege, I never had an interest in streaming.
Okay. So,
I just deem myself as not streamer material.
oh, that's a shame. But because you're a really entertaining person.
Well, I appreciate that, but personally, I don't think so.
Okay. Um, yeah. You see, when you started out making YouTube videos, this is like
Mhm.
every YouTuber gets asked this, but I'm just gonna ask it again because I've never asked this before. So, like, did you start having like no people watching you, just posting videos every day, getting like 2 views, and did you start picking up for that, or did you instantly blow up somewhere? Because I started watching you when
Well,
you
I
had like
progressively there was always like a small reward after each upload, because The Last of Us was a really small community. The biggest YouTuber there had maybe under 30,000 subscribers. So people would always try and find different people making different content. So I was never at a standstill with The Last of Us. I'd always, with every upload, I gained a few subscribers. I remember making maybe 3 or 4. I got to 50 subscribers, and it progressed from there. And I started making Siege videos before a lot of YouTubers made Siege videos. When I was at about 1,300 subscribers. Uh,
mm-hmm.
but personally, my growth on YouTube has been really slow compared to others. Uh, I'm still grateful for what I have. Yeah, it's really hard just starting a YouTube channel in a super saturated game. Like if I had nothing now and I just started streaming Apex, I would not grow unless I became a pro and made LAN or whatever,
Yeah.
joined an org. Um, Same thing with like Fortnite. If I just started playing Fortnite right now with no history on YouTube or Twitch, that would be a nightmare.
Yeah. So when you started streaming, did you have viewers from your YouTube come and watch you?
Yes, yes, yes. When I started streaming, in about 3 days, I got affiliate. Um, then
Wow.
I just slowly grinded. It was super on and off. Like what my stream schedule was way worse than mine right now. I it got to the point where I'd stream like once a month, but I'd still get maybe 10, 20 viewers. Because when
Okay.
I started streaming, it was before I got 20,000 subs on YouTube.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, I'd always stick my Twitch plug in the description. I'd play, uh, and I get maybe 10 to 20 viewers every now and then.
So from your experience, do you think that you will grow? Like no matter what, you will grow if you consistently upload or consistently stream.
Yes, yes. But you got to give a reason to people to watch you, or yeah, you got to give a reason for people to watch you. You can't just be a zombie just playing there, just sitting there playing a game, not really doing anything special. If you have nothing unique to offer, why would people want to watch you?
What do you think your unique personality is when you stream?
When I stream, I give people more in-depth answers than what normal streamers would just give them. Because with my videos, like how to be confident, how to stop overthinking, it goes really in depth with how people play the game and how they think when they're playing the game. Because not a lot of people take that into account. Because a lot of pros, they just say play T Hunt, but in a viewer's mind, they're gonna be like, "What the fuck? How am I just gonna play T Hunt and just become amazing?" That doesn't help.
Okay. So just more in-depth answers and like you're doing
More
here.
in-depth answers. I'm more interactive with my chat. And I guess just my stream layout, the way I talk, the way I answer questions, because but you can't confuse that with if you're trying to grow on Twitch, you can't just confuse that with, oh, I think I'm unique because I'm me. Literally everyone on Twitch is they are themselves,
Yeah.
because everyone understands that if they try and be somebody else, then like a year from now, if they're still trying to imitate that person, then streaming is just not going to be enjoyable. Everyone on Twitch acts themselves. You go to one person's Twitch channel, they're themselves. Why would they want to watch you?
Okay, so final question before we get into the outro.
All right.
What is Disrupt? How did they like come across your channel and like?
Well, Disrupt is an org. They started in March of 2018. I joined them May 2018. They mainly just blew up based on the DreamHack Aust1n when they picked up Dot Dash, Yaga, Skittles, Ghost, and someone else I can't remember. And they beat Continuum or EG. I forget who they were back then. But this was June in 2018 when they played LAN, and that's when they really blew up. They basically just got a bunch of underage fans. Because it was it was Hyper. Hyper was the last one. They were all underage at the time. Like Yaga when he was like 15, Dot Dash was 17, and they just beat Continuum / EG at the time. And it was an instant fan base. Then they picked up a bunch of streamers. Then the team kind of left Disrupt for a different org. I can't remember. And Disrupt picked a different team. It was with Mo, Gotcha, Spades, like Bodega, Gotcha, Spades, Evil Waffle, and a fifth that I'm forgetting. But yeah, it's just an organization like how FaZe is an organization. Ninjas in Pajamas is an organization.
Yeah. So, do you think you'll ever go competitive, or you just stay in a streamer for now?
Eyes.
Sorry, I didn't catch that. What?
Eyes.
Yeah. I understand. All right. So, thank you for your time, Aust1n. Really good having you here. So, have you got anything you want to plug or anything that's coming up?
For the things that's coming up, I'm streaming every day for 12 hours each day in January. And anything else that's coming up, Eyes.
Okay. Okay. So, yeah, go subscribe to and follow Aust1n on Twitch. I'll put his Twitch link somewhere and his YouTube link somewhere and his Twitter link somewhere. I don't know, in the description or anything. Wherever this is going to be posted. So, yeah, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
So yeah.
You should probably add the eye emoji on screen, because I don't think people are just going to hear, or I don't think they're going to understand eyes just for me saying it.
Yep. It took me like a couple minutes to understand what you were saying.
Yeah.
I thought you just said eyes and that's it. Okay.
Yeah, that is what I said.
Yeah,
literally just eyes. Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. See ya.